Hey guys, Mac here. So, couple of thoughts floating into my mind right now. On one side, I'm thinking about the coronavirus, the pandemic, the recession, people losing their jobs, businesses may ever not be able to come back to their normal business, and the after effects of that, right? The post-pandemic era, where it is going to be more and more, number one, online, and number two is essentially the mental health issues, the depression, the anxiety, all those things, right? We don't know what are the after effects of that in terms of people suffering through these deep state of emotional affairs. That is still big unknown. That's a big question mark. And so that was one angle that I'm thinking about. The other angle is the news that I just heard today of an upcoming, uprising, ambitious Bollywood actor, a young actor, Sushant Singh Rajput, committing a suicide in his Bandra apartment in Mumbai, India. And although I was not following him on a day in day out basis, I knew about him. I had watched his one of the critically acclaimed movies where he portrayed the Indian cricket skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni, and it was a pretty critically acclaimed movie. He also had acted in a couple of other critically acclaimed movies with big Bollywood actors and stars. So certainly, it was no doubt in my mind that he had a brighter future. And why would he commit a suicide, right? So I didn't know much about him, as I said earlier. So I came to know that he was suffering from some kind of depression, anxiety. So I decided to go on his Instagram post, right? Because I believe that if you follow someone through his Instagram post or his Facebook post, typically you tend to know what that person's beliefs are, what are his attitudes are, what is his thought processes, all those things, right? So I happened to go on his Instagram posts, and I'm totally in deep shock. The more I am looking into his Instagram post, the more I'm realizing that he is the person who should never commit a suicide in his life. And the reason I'm saying that is because he's talking quite a lot of intellectual things, right, in terms of marrying the Eastern philosophy with the Western philosophy, because Western philosophy is more of instant fame, instant gratification, overnight fame, as opposed to that our Eastern philosophy is much more deeply ingrained in terms of power of delay of gratification, having the right mindset, having exercising the patience, so on and so forth, right? So he was very much ingrained with that Eastern philosophy. In one of his posts, he's also talking about Einstein's theory of relativity in terms of space, time, and how it marries together nicely with Eastern philosophy. He's also talking about how our saints and sages in ancient times, how they were ahead of their times, right? Ahead of even today's times, where they were able to grasp the intricate concepts of the distance between the earth and sun through the power of mantras, right? Or the intricate concepts of the dark universe, the dark matter, and how they were able to grasp all those things through the power of mantras, Vedas, Upanishads. So I could instantly relate to him. And in one of his other posts, he's also talking about the importance of getting a good sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, the importance of focusing on exercising, the importance of having the right mindset, being with your close relatives, friends, families, that allows you to stay grounded, that allows you to open up with your close people. He's also talking about fasting, right? We all know the importance of fasting. So he's talking about all the right things, and that on one side really got me pleased in terms of yes, this guy, I can relate to him. And on the other side, it got me worried as to why, in spite of having the right mindset and exuding that through his social media post, right? Why would he commit a suicide, right? So the only thing that I can say is that, as they say, that you need to enter into someone's mind and walk a mile before you really pass on the judgment. So I think that is where we are in today's life. Post pandemic, we are going to go into more and more online component of social media. Our kids, through their schooling activities, our online business meetings, or the way we will be conducting ourselves in terms of our webinars, our speaking, our social media post, it will be much more prevalent as we move forward. So my thought, my belief, or my recommendation is that don't prejudge anyone instantly. If you see someone's post on social media, let it digest a little bit. Don't be too hasty about prejudging or commenting on where they are coming from. Just let it reside. Be more kind, be more generous, and the other thought is that if you are watching all these celebrities going through anxieties, depression, what about people like you and me, right? Who are more average people and who don't get this kind of news coverage, right? And this issue of mental health, depression, anxiety is much more prevalent. It is going to go much more on the rise the more we embrace the social media in the post-pandemic world. So find some kind of outlets where you can open up yourself, whether it is watching a movie, whether it is talking to your own close relatives, or whether doing a meditation, whatever your conduit is. Just believe in that. Be much more diligent about exercising that. Don't be yourself. Find some kind of ways, find some kind of routine, some kind of outlet, whether it is a meditation, whether it is exercising, whether it is talking to the other people, whether it is watching a movie to give yourself a break, whatever it is. Invest in yourself in that way you can not only excel into your job world, corporate world, business world, but also be a good father, good husband, good mother, good wife, whatever that is, right? So that is what I'm thinking about. Also, the other thought that I have is we sometimes blindly follow these celebrities. So just take that with a grain of salt, right? Because social media is a world of hallucination in many ways. So just be cognizant about whom are you following, and try to take everything with a grain of salt. Because just by looking at Sushant's post today, right, not that I'm a blind follower, but I can relate to him. But everywhere we have a tendency, especially in India, we have a tendency to blindly follow the celebrities, and we practically make them gods, right? We worship them with garlands, and they become the untouchable in many ways. So just try to take that with a grain of salt. Believe in yourself. Be much more self-aware of who you are in terms of your strengths, your trigger points, your emotional trigger points, your weaknesses. Just try to know yourself better, and that way you can then take appropriate steps in proper manner. So that is what I'm thinking about. So signing off for now, Sushant. Rest in peace wherever you are. I hope you find peace, solace wherever you are. Also, my deep condolences to you, your loved ones, your families, your parents. And signing off on our talk, children. Take care. Bye bye.